Welcome, 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 welcome. Look, y'all, this is new to me. Um, I mean, I've gone live before, but I haven't done like a serious live on YouTube just yet. And so, like, without the Bible study, you guys know I do the Bible study with Mariah. I haven't gone live just on my own. So, you coming in? Welcome, welcome. Look, I'm just here to be obedient to the Lord right now. I'm not even gonna cat with you. Um, you know, just here to be obedient, and I just like I'm observing. I don't know, girl. Anybody else has this problem when you trying to do your makeup and then one wing just want to go out straight and then the other one wants to wing? Like they like, except they don't move, so it's just like I don't know why it's like that, but I'm not gonna press it. You know, that's how it came out, so that's how it is. It is what it is. I wanted to come on here and talk to you guys about identity real quick. This is what the Lord wanted me to talk about. Literally, I was driving home. I just got gas. I just came out the gym. Well, I just came out the gym and then I went to get gas for my car. And on my way home, and the Lord's like, pull over. Pull over. I want you to go live on YouTube right now. Pull over. And so here I am listening. I got kind of like a post workout in this jar that I'm drinking here. I'm almost done. It's post workout. It's called a muscle multiplier, um, which is supposed to help you with sore muscles after you're done working out. So help you help you with your sore muscles, and then helping you regenerating those muscles quicker after you done tore them up in the gym. You know. So this is something that I actually sell. So I'll leave a link in the description if you are interested in knowing more about it. But it's delicious. Mm. As you can see, I just drank it up. Yum, yum. Here, grab my water. Now, I'll be honest with you guys. I don't know what I'm going to talk about in this video. I'm just being obedient to the Lord. I just know they told me to pull over. They told me to get on YouTube, go live, talk about identity. That's the word for the day, identity. And so whatever comes out of my mouth is completely spirit led at this point. I'm going to pray, and I'm going to, I'm going to let spirit take over, and whatever is said, is meant to reach somebody wherever they are. Like I said, I'm just going to let spirit lead. And so, Heavenly Divine Father and Mother, thank you. Thank you for bringing me to this moment, to this time. Thank you for waking all of us up today. Um, Anybody who might be tuning in at this time. Thank you. Thank you just for our life and our essence. Thank you for your essence, for everything that you are. Um, that we praise your name, because we could not be here in this place without you. We could not have the desires that we want, the things in our hearts without you. We could not know who we truly are without you. And so I just want to thank you, and just really, really praise your name right now. Lord, and I pray that you take over this live. I don't know what you want me to say exactly, but I just pray that you take over, use me, use my words to reach your people where they are, to leave them a message that they need to hear. Lord, I'm just working on my obedience, my discipline, and my diligence. Is that somebody, a message for somebody that they need to hear, Lord? That you put that in their heart, you put that in their mind, you put that in their soul to work on with them, within themselves also. Lord, I pray that you do your miracle works in this time for anybody who's seeking after you, anybody who is really looking for you within themselves. Lord, I pray that you keep your hands covering over people who might be dealing with afflictions, people who might be in the hospital on life support, people who might be really suffering at this time. Keep your hand over them, cover them in Christ, and deliver them if it be in your will. In Jesus' name, amen. All right, so I'm here in my car. We're going to talk about identity, right? Because I don't really know how to start this, but one thing that's really on my mind, one thing that has really, really been on my mind lately has been, so whoever I'm talking to, this is relevant to you, right? So when we are younger, we have to go through that period of time where nothing makes sense. You know, people are telling us one thing and then they're going and doing the exact opposite of what they're telling us to do. Or, you know, you've been portrayed to your whole life to think that, you know, things are done a certain type of way, or things have to be done a certain type of way. You can only be a certain type of way, and the way that you have to be completely takes away from your authenticity. And when you try to express your authentic self, when you try to be who you really are, you're guilted, you're shamed, you are oppressed in some way, some manner. And look, I feel this because I hesitate to say it, but I'm gonna say it because it's just something I feel, you know. And I feel a feeling really like I'm talking to, you know, maybe even not only people who just struggle with self-esteem, self-worth, but, you know, like LGBT community, people who struggle with, you know, or people who are gay or lesbian or transgender or whatever, you know. Excuse me. Excuse me. Now I really feel this in my soul because, you know, it's something about that beginning stages of your life, like the beginning stage of your life when you are really just trying to dive deeper into, you know, who you are. You're growing up, you're learning about the world around you. Of course, you've been dependent on your parents. Now you're starting to learn about yourself. Now you're starting to learn about your body. Now you're trying to get some autonomy. But it's like the things that you desire, the things that you want, are shamed, are guilted, and you're not allowed to be who you are, which is normal. And your normal is looked as cast like taboo or wrong or just some kind of wrong. And so I just wanted to talk about this because now we are in a parking lot. There's no reason for nobody to be speeding like that. I don't know if y'all heard that, but I apologize. It was distracting to me. But back to the subject. I think it's important to talk about this and really address it on a deeper level of you know, who you are authentically is not wrong or taboo. And I know, like, I'm thinking too about, people who grow up really religious, or, and I can't speak for any other religion except for Christianity, Baptist, because that's what I grew up as. But people who grew up as really religious, or, maybe their parents are just really strict about them. Maybe your parents just really had a specific desire for you. They wanted your life to look a certain way, and we all know, our parents want the best for us. But sometimes the things that our parents desire is not what we were put here to do. And so, in that process of really being circumcised, you can say, with circumcision, we know what circumcision is, but really another way to think about circumcision, I don't know how to say the word. Another way to think about it, though, is to cut around, to make you round, to make you, cutting away the impurities, cutting away the extra essence of who you are, right? Cutting away certain aspects of your authenticity. And we go through life and we have to experience those things where we're cutting away those extra pieces of authenticity off of us, because it just doesn't fit in our society. It doesn't fit in our household beliefs. It doesn't fit in our household values. And we end up having to mold ourselves to fit the values of other people, to fit the values of our parents, what our parents expect, to fit the values of what our schooling, our peers expect, to fit the values of our like teachers and other people that help raise us. Guardians, that's what it's called. To fit the values of the people around us, to fit the values of our society, rather than staying true to what's valuable to us. To a point where, for me personally, I'll share this story. For me personally, we didn't really talk about values in my family. And so values is not something that I really learned until I got older, until I started uncovering why I do some of the things that I do, why I am who I am. And really, even in the beginning, wasn't nothing that I learned. Values was something that I learned somewhere along the line of, on that journey of uncovering who I am. And it took a few years. I want to say it took at least 3 years of me doing some internal digging and some internal healing before I really learned what values are, what my values are, what my triggers are. And so and I'm just bringing this up. Because I think a lot of times we end up taking on these values of, like, the societal values or the values of our parents, and it's shaping and it's molding us, it's circumcising us to be a specific type of way. And we grow up and we go through life just being this way, whether it depends on what we experience. So if you experience, every time you express an authentic piece of yourself and is shamed or guilted, and you just start thinking that you can't be who you really are. And so you find the ways to, mold yourself. You taking away aspects of yourself that are true and authentic to you, just so you can feel safe in the environment that you're in, right? You're taking away pieces of yourself just so you can survive where you are. Which is detrimental at the end of the day, because then as we get older and we do have to analyze our values, we can't be honest with ourselves. We can't be honest and really reflect deeply on what our true values are. And if we can, it's really hard. It's really hard. And so I just wanted to talk about this because I was sitting here, well, like I said, the Lord told me to talk on identity, but it made me think about too. I'm reading this book by Jay Shetty. It's called Think Like a Monk, and in this book, Jay Shetty's talking about values. And at one point in this book, he's got an exercise for us to do. And pretty much he's saying, like, go back and analyze what were some of the values that you learned from, your parents when you were younger, from the school system when you were younger, from your friends and peers when you were younger, and go back and analyze and write down, what are those values? What are they? And then look at those values and see, do you still apply those values to today? Are they still relevant to today? Do you still believe those values? Do you still value those things? And while I was trying to do this exercise, it was so hard. It was so hard for me to sit and really think about the values of my childhood. What it was it that we valued. And it was hard because, one, I already know that the things that I used to value, whatever they were, whatever it was, I can't really remember. That was one. Whatever it was I used to value, I'm not that same person anymore. So the things that I value now are not the same things that I used to value when I was younger. But for the simple fact that I really couldn't even remember. I don't remember a whole lot of, the things, and it's partially because when I was younger and I was living with my my parents, and I was really being shaped and molded to be a specific type of way that fit into the dynamic of the family, instead of being able to express myself authentically and just be who I am. When I was that way, we didn't, like I said, we didn't talk about values. We didn't go that deep into it. It was never that deep. And so, oftentimes I have started realizing, as I was reading this book, that yeah, we have values. Of course, there was values, there was principles and rules and ways that we had to live, but because we didn't talk about it, it was more like a subconscious thing that was happening rather than a conscious thing that was happening. And I don't know if it was that my parents didn't know what values were, or if they didn't know what they really valued. And another thing too, let me say this too, was because I grew up, I'll just share this really quick. I grew up as a Baptist, right? My grandfather was a pastor at a church called Greater St. Luke's, and he was a very spiritual, religious man. And a lot of times, though, this didn't just happen with my mom and my family, but this, as I grew older and I started observing more, this is really a pattern throughout the whole family. But a lot of times what I noticed was that the things that we say that we valued, the things that we said, did not align with the things that we did. It was like we say a certain thing and we present ourselves to be a certain way in front of people for a specific image to hold, but then behind closed doors, when nobody's seeing, nobody's really watching, we're doing the complete opposite. And I recognize this at an early age. And the more I recognized it, and I would try to even communicate about it, more I would even try to just talk about it. I was shamed. About it. And these are the pieces that were taken away from me. I was told not to be, I was made to believe just to be quiet, to sit there. Don't say anything unless I'm spoken to. Just do what I'm told, And so, these are some of the values when I was younger. Now, these are still some of the things that I might value, right? These are still some things like, not all of them. Like I do still value if somebody asks me to do something, if I'm able to do it, that I'll do it for them. But it's shifted, it's changed. And so I think I think what has to happen, not even that, I think, y'all, what has to happen is that we have to go internal. We have to literally separate ourselves from these things that were programmed within us, from society, from the school system, from our parents. We have to literally separate ourselves from these things, go internal, and really analyze what are these values that I value. And how you know what you value is by looking at your actions, not by all the words that you are saying. If y'all been watching my videos, man, all these videos is clashing together right now. It is not by the words that you're saying. The words that you say do matter. They definitely do matter. But it's not it. That's not all. It doesn't only matter by what you are saying and what you are doing in front of other people. You got to go isolate yourself and look at what is it that I'm doing when I'm alone, when no one's watching me. What are the thoughts that I'm thinking in my quiet space when there's nothing else to distract me. And if you don't sit in that quiet space, what do you do to distract you from being alone? That also matters because let's say I'm not a person that watches TV too much anymore, y'all. Like, I let that stuff go a long time ago. But let's say you're a person who, you're afraid to be alone. You just can't sit there in a quiet space. You can't be still. Let's say you that person, right? And you're sitting there and you're, scared of your thoughts, and you go to drinking to distract yourself from your thoughts. You go to smoking to pull away from your reality. You go to binge eating to feel some comfort. You go to sitting down and watching TV just to relax, just to find some relaxation, to relax your mind, to relax your body, right? Those are the things that you value. And so we have to really look at those things, like look at the actions, because and I'm just feeling this because a lot of times I'm encountering people where they're like, I'm interested in life coaching. I'm interested in changing my life. I'm interested in doing things different. But then when it comes down to the action part, when it comes down to actually doing things different, you're finding yourself hitting a wall. It's because you have to analyze what are you valuing. And you have to really analyze it, because those things that you're valuing, those things that you go to for comfort, those things you go to relax, those things that you go to numb yourself from the pains of your reality, those things right there, that is who you are identifying as. That is your identity. And so you got to really look at that and realize and really look deeply at those things. This is my identity. This is who I've been identifying as. And I want to share with you guys this too, because a lot of times when we are actually looking at the things that we value, the things we say we're valuing, and compared to the actions, and we're able to identify, well, these are things that I've done all my life because this is all I knew, this is what I was taught, rather than this is what I really value, this is what I really want to do in order to change my life. When you're able to identify the differences between the two, you're able to separate it and make changes. You're able to realize that, hey, it's not that this is my identity. Maybe this was who I was in the past. This is not who I am. This is not who I truly am. This is not who the Lord made me to be. This is not what I was born on this earth for. And so you got to really take a deeper look at that. And even if you don't know, even if you're looking at those values, and let's say you don't know, you haven't identified that, you haven't identified what you want to do to make a change. You just know that you don't want to be the same person that you used to be, right? Um, Even if you haven't identified exactly what it is that you need to do to make a change, you're able to make that change. Why? By taking little steps towards just shifting the old behaviors into something that's more in alignment with what feels authentic to you, what feels true to you. It's almost like taking back them pieces that was cut off, which they're still there. They've, it's really like, the way I think about it is like it was cut off, but it's really just kind of like molded, like it was pressed, like you were pressed to be a specific way. And the more that you tap into that authenticity and just allow yourself to just, flow with who you really are, you're able to release some of that pressure, and go back into who you really are. Go back into your authentic self. You might even realize some parts of yourself that you didn't even know you was capable of. And so, um, I just wanted to get on here and share this really quickly because I think it's so powerful. And I don't know, the Lord is trying to talk to somebody right now and just let you know that those things that those things that you have been going to, the things that you have been sticking with, those things that you look for comfort, that's not who you are. That's not who you are, and it's time for you to change. It's time for you to do some internal digging. It's time for you to do that reflecting. And so, get into it. Get into it. It's time right now. So, this is Leo. That's all I wanted to share with you guys. And I hope that you have a great, beautiful, blessed day. And yeah, I'll see you next time. Bye.